Margaret Verble is an author of historical fiction and a Pulitzer Prize finalist. Inspired to correct the falsehoods perpetuated by some written histories, Margaret says she never had to choose what to write about.
The taller boy, still facing the house, studied the paint on the door. He hadn't, in recent memory, been through a painted door. He tried to see through the wood. Were there pictures on the wall? Wash bowls, rugs, food? His stomach growled. On the outside, faint under the paint, about an inch over his head, was a rounded knot in the wood. It looked like the eye of an owl. That might be a bad omen.
I'm Margaret Verble. I'm a citizen of the Cherokee Nation, and I'm a novelist. I've been looking at this house for a long time, but have never, this first time, I had ever been in it, and I'm thrilled to be in it. I can be at home in many different places, but I'm never more at home than I am in the Arkansas River bottoms, and there's a grittiness down there too.
This house is used in 2 of my books. In both of those novels, they would have been able to hear the roar of the Arkansas River. And I imagined this room as Chuck's study or office, where there are all sorts of scenes in the book.
I was raised at a time where the U.S. Indian policy was that they were going to get rid of non-reservation Indians. So we were somewhat politically aware of, and even as a child, I was politically aware of the plan. The plan was they were just going to phase out the Cherokees. So I grew up thinking that the older people in my family were going to be completely eradicated and lost. I remember vividly as a child deciding I was going to do something about that. I learned a lot of Cherokee history, and these people came alive in my mind. I got into writing fiction because I just got to where I couldn't live without doing it. I could feel my fingers feeling itchy, and I just had a compulsion to do it. I have 3 novels that are published. They're historical fiction, but they're literary. They're a reflection of my personality. And it is a personality that has been forged by a wide range of experience. My mother died when I was in my early 30s. And her first cousin, who she was extremely close to, her first cousin sort of took over mothering me. She's going to be 100 years old. She is the matriarch of our family. Unfortunately, most of my family has walked on. They're all gone, except in my head, they're very, very much alive. My novels are character-driven. So I think, what is this person like? And of course, whatever it is we're like leads to whatever trouble we get into, right? And the rule you have as a novelist is that you've got to give your main character trouble. There's got to be trouble everywhere. Nobody wants to read about anything except trouble.
Okay, thank you.
This is Cherokee America Rogers' grave, and this is who I based Cherokee America Singer on, and who is the title character of Cherokee America. She lived a long time, and she was a very headstrong woman. She ran a huge potato farm. They just shipped potatoes out of Fort Gibson all over the United States until the Depression.
My first published book was Maud's Line. I set Maud's Line in 1927. And it's really a low point in Cherokee history. As soon as I sent it out, an agent picked it up, and she sold it within like 2 or 3 weeks. And then it was extremely successful in terms of, being a finalist for the Pulitzer Prize, which you can't ask for anything more for a first novel. And she said, this is going to change your life. And she was right. It did. Being a finalist is just like striking gold. I set that novel up so that it was a sequel to Cherokee America. My second book centers on a woman that I've called Cherokee America Singer, but she was really in real life named Cherokee America Rogers. And she was a daughter of Gideon Morgan, who led the Cherokees against the Creeks at the Battle of the Horseshoe. My third novel is When Two Feathers Fell from the Sky. But what I really wanted to write about in depth was the history of Nashville. Because when I was growing up, we learned that history entirely from a white perspective. And it was all these innocent white people had come here to live, and for some reason these savage Indians were trying to kill them. We first learned that in fourth grade. Well, by the fourth grade, I knew that just was not correct. And my mother was a fourth grade teacher, and she had to teach that. That really, really has bothered me all my life. I wanted to present an alternative to that history, and I think I was able to do that in that book. I absolutely feel like I have a duty to correct this history that people have been taught. Oh yeah, I feel an absolute moral passion about that. I feel like my ancestors want me to do this. I feel that very, very strongly.